I want to focus on being able to organize myself and really loving the process of organization.
What I hear you say is you feel and felt yesterday a little bit overwhelmed with organizing the materials for your training, for the RTT training. And then you might even go into the direction of procrastinating. And you came up already with the rule of the mind. The mind loves what's familiar and will always avoid what's unfamiliar. And in your words, like organizing is something which is something you want to make yourself familiar with, right?
Yes.
Hi everyone, I'm here today with Olivia again. We have our second coaching session and I'm very excited, and I hope everyone who is watching this video can take a lot out of it. And now, Olivia, this time is all for you. Thank you for being here with me today again. How are you?
Thanks, Monica. I'm good. I've had a lot of epiphanies since our last session. So, yeah, I'm excited about today. I'm feeling excited.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm so curious to hear how has your week been and what happened since our last session?
It's been really interesting. I myself did not see the changes in myself, but other people are noticing the changes and they're like, "What's happened? What have you done?" Um, I'm I'm way calmer. My even one of my family members commented on how like my level of confidence has increased. They were like, what did you do?" And I said, "Well, I had a coaching session." An RTT coaching session. And they're like, "What is that?" So I went into explaining what it was. But yeah, overall, I feel as though there's just been an ease. And the nervousness that I was feeling inside, it's not there. So it's really beautiful. I feel very calm, I feel confident. Yeah. And I'm actually have been extremely productive as well. Um, yeah, so there's a flow, there's a flow of artistry that's just moving through me with ease and grace. So I love it.
Thank you for sharing that, and thank you for the feedback. So what I hear you say is that since our last session, you feel calmer, you feel more confidence, you feel more ease. And not only that you feel this inside, but even people around you recognize the change within you. And there is no nervousness anymore. Instead, there is excitement and confidence and productivity. And you feel like being in the flow.
Yes.
Amazing. And Olivia, for today's session, what is it you would like to work on? What would make this an extraordinary conversation for you?
That's a good question. Wow. I mean, that is a really good question, Monica. I think that for today's session, maybe focusing on uh, organization, I want to say, so that um, when I'm ready to tackle a task, I can I can feel not only that I've like organized things, but now things will be even on a better flow. Yesterday, and I just bring up this example because yesterday I was actually organizing some of my materials for RTT, and I felt overwhelmed. And then I felt like, wow, is this also going to stop me from like moving forward and doing things? I mean, I know these are things I have to do. I don't like to do them. So maybe, maybe if we can focus on me being organized and loving to organize my materials. And that might translate into the rest of my life too. I want to focus on being able to organize myself and really loving the process of organization, which I find not appealing. So it goes back to something you said in our first session about how the mind loves familiarity. And so
Mm.
my familiarity is not with organizing things, and I feel like if I don't organize and I procrastinate, I'm saying a little bit more than I did earlier. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's also delaying the process of organization is like procrastinating.
Okay, yeah, that's very important. And thank you for coming up with that, being so open and honest around this. And that makes it easy for me to find out with you how we can make organization for you something that feels even good and something you don't have to procrastinate. Because what I hear you say is you feel and felt yesterday a little bit overwhelmed with organizing the materials for your training, for the RTT training. And then you might even go into the direction of procrastinating. And you came up already with the rule of the mind. The mind loves what's familiar and will always avoid what's unfamiliar. And in your words, like organizing is something which is something you want to make yourself familiar with, right?
Yes, yes.
Amazing. Now, and I know you have all the wisdom and knowledge already within you. So my question to you is, how could you make this familiar?
Wow, that's a really good question. Well, one of the things you said was repetition, right? Repetition. Um, so that came to me first. Um, and maybe, maybe accessing a different way of looking at it also, like shifting my perception of
Mm.
what that would look like. Um, and and then I think the third one would be for me is like, God, just making that step, putting it into practice, like really like practicality wise is like, just do it, just do it.
Yeah, amazing. And I love what you say. Like, you know, already our mind learns with repetition. So, how we train, how we learn a language, how we learn anything is like by repeating, repeating, repeating. And this is what you will find myself also in my coaching sessions or in the videos I do. I often repeat and repeat and repeat just because then we learn it. So, this is something very wise that you already know. Your mind learns with repetition, then you will make it familiar. And then also changing the perspective. And this touches on something we talked about last coaching session already a little bit about the pain pleasure principle. Remember when we said, okay, there was a lot of pain linked to your goal, becoming a great RTT therapist and a coach. And last week, we could discover a harmful pattern, a program which we could remove and bring it onto the surface in order to remove the pain away from this goal. And now we are left with the other side, the pleasure. So today, with your permission, I would love to work on making this pleasure principle, so the side of the pleasure towards the goal, bigger and bigger, which will help you to overcome then any obstacles, which will help you to overcome any obstacles which are obvious, like, for example, tech issues or something, but there are also obstacles in our mind. And these are the more tricky ones because often we don't even recognize it. And then we find ourselves already thinking the thought, ah, I don't know, I don't want this today. No, let's do something else. This is the hard part of the obstacle. So changing the perspective and linking way more pleasure to the goal is something that could help us and could help you reaching a goal. How does this sound for you?
I'm excited. Let's do it. Sounds great.
Amazing. So, for diving into that, I really want to investigate about your goal. What is your goal? What is your North Star? And you mentioned it last time. Also, a little bit you discovered what you really want to do now. Tell me, what is it again?
To be an outstanding RTT therapist and coach so that I can be of service to others. Um, One of the things I think I mentioned to you in writing, I'm not sure I communicated this last time in our first session, but the discovery that I made also was with my artistry. So as an editor, because that was my professional background as a video and film editor, um, I can see myself now um, kind of marrying the two, like RTT and that. Because, for me, RTT will be like getting to the root cause of whatever issue a person may be experiencing. And I'm also thinking about really focusing on children and helping children and coaching them through that, but also offering, my skills as an editor to teach them how to perhaps story tell, to utilize that as an avenue where they can explore if they want deeper their feelings, but all the while feeling safe to really explore them without any fears or anything like that or anything holding them back and fully really expressing themselves through it. So
Mm,
as an
that's
outlet.
that's beautiful. So what I hear you say is that you want to become an outstanding RTT therapist and coach, and you discovered last week already that you want to focus on children. And you now even refined it because you also have a history of being a master editor. And you want to bring these two together. You want to marry these two passions of you together and then work with kids on the traumas also and on the programs, the subconscious, but also giving them perspective towards the future, like how can they express themselves?
Yes.
How can they storytell? And it's beautiful.
Thank you.
And let's explore a little bit more the why behind the why,
Mm,
because that is the really reason, the ultimate reason why you want to do this is the thing that can be your fuel, that can give you all the motivation you need whenever you have to overcome a phase of stuckness or when there is an obstacle. This can build a bridge between where you are and your goal.
mm.
So, my question now is very surprising. Why do you want to become an outstanding RTT therapist working with children and teaching them a way with editing to express themselves?
Um, the reason why I want to become an RTT therapist is, you know, um, well, I think, now that you asked the question, it's more layered than I initially thought. Because initially I thought, well, of course, I want to become an RTT therapist to help other people. Um, but it goes deeper than that. It's like as I'm helping others, I'm also helping myself at the same time. So I feel like there's this relationship of like, okay, well, this person may be receiving whatever it is that they need to receive. And as I assist them to get there on their paths, they're also helping me to grow at the same time. Um,
Mm.
and that to me, is I think it's what life is all about, Monica, just to be a more compassionate, a more loving person. And when we work on ourselves, especially on certain patterns, and excavate those patterns, we then shift to just become a better version of ourselves. And that's an ongoing process. And so I feel that this is one of the reasons why I want to be an RTT therapist. It's like, and, you know, the best, one of the best RTT therapists is um, just to be able to give that level of, I want to say, level of care and compassion.
Mm. So you want to give this level of care and compassion and build relationships where they receive your clients, but also they give you so much, they help you to grow. So this is a relationship based of love and compassion, of giving and receiving, where you care about others. And why is this so important for you?
I believe it's important for me because I don't, well, I've felt I have never received that. And I think that if I had received something like that, my life would look different. But that said, that's one of the reasons because of those experiences I explored RTT. So it gave me that avenue. But to be able to have known that that was even a possibility would have probably saved me from a lot of anxiousness. It would have saved me from like a lot of the yeah, the anxiety and depression that I experienced and the limitation, more importantly, I think maybe the limitation, because I, I was very limited in how I could see my own potential or possibility. Anything that I really desired to do uh, was hindered by my thought process and stopped by the way that I think. And some of those processes or patterns we discovered last session. So I think procrastination might be one of these patterns also that's really like in me, where I just want to stop myself because it's like, oh well, who are you to think you can do this? And
Mm.
little voice in the back that would be talking all the time and saying, well, I don't think you're good enough to do this. I don't think this is not for you. You will never be able to attain these things. And all of this was based on um, the conditioning of society, conditioning of my family, uh, my own culture, um, how I've been conditioned to think, some things are not for me. So why put the effort? Some things are not for me because they're not accessible. That limitation. And when, you know, coming back full circle to RTT, it's now that I feel very passionate, I'm ready to take it on. I know I can. And I do know it is accessible to me. Maybe now that I'm talking to you about this, I'm thinking maybe there's a part of me that still feels it might not be quite accessible.
Mhm. And I would love to dive into that in a second, but for now, I would turn our conversation back to what you said before. And this is like on my question, why is it important for you to give others this love, this compassion, to build these relationships, to have these clients where they can receive and they help you to grow? And you answered this with, because you never have experienced this kind of support, this kind of love, this kind of care, this kind of compassion, which then also brought you the way to self work, self discovery, hard work on yourself. And that's why you're on the way to become an extraordinary RTT therapist and coach. And so this is why this is important for you, because you never had it. And now focusing back on that goal, when you never had it and you've experienced all that, why does this help people? Why do you want them to go towards this goal?
Mm, mm, mm. I think, um, yeah, I'm glad you went deeper with that. I think that I feel this would be a better world. This is one of the things where we can begin to move um, past old ways of being and operating, and making this a better place for everyone. I think that if we all elevated ourselves, and this was maybe even more accessible, because I would only be part of a bigger machine, which is like RTT is this massive machine to me. And I'm not the only therapist, but the more we grow in numbers, I feel the better it will impact the world. Um,
Mm.
yeah.
So to reflect this back, it's because it would be a better world when you could offer these services. It's because you would break this old pattern of old ways, how kids grow up, how people receive education or whatever it is. And it would elevate all of us together.
Yes.
And how would that make you feel? Why is this important that it all goes up?
I believe it would make me feel really happy. This is a world that I've always dreamt about, where everyone, would still remain their unique selves, but we would celebrate our differences. We would appreciate our differences, and we would uh, love ourselves more, uh, and of course, subsequently loving other people more. It's I feel there would be less, wars. There wouldn't be any wars. There wouldn't be, yes, there might be some disagreements, but there's civil disagreements. I mean, we can all agree to disagree, and still be very respectful and mindful of the other person. So for me, yeah, it's about seeing that type of world coming to into a reality. And you know, I think I'm not the only one who's desiring this, Monica, but there are very few of us that will really step forward and take the actions necessary to really create that type of world. And so
Mm.
becoming an RTT therapist again, and amongst the best RTT therapists, I feel would be a contribution towards that.
Mm. A contribution towards making this place, this world, a better place, and like supporting each other, appreciating and embracing the differences between us instead of making someone feeling bad about being different. And you want to take action into that direction
Yes.
in order to make this happen. Even though you know so many people want the same thing, but you want to take action. Why do you want to take action? Why do you think are you the right person to take now action towards this goal?
I don't know if I'm the right person. Um, I have to say that reason lies in my heart.
Mm.
I feel it would bring joy to me, and there's a sense of like feeling alive. Um, RTT to me is exciting. And so, as you know, when you go into your sessions, your coaching sessions, you never know exactly what to expect. But then when you see on the opposite side the client receiving whatever it was they needed to receive, then there's this, it's like I can't put it into words, but there's this feeling inside that you're like so excited for them. You're like, oh, I'm so glad they're like they found their little diamond. And you can see the growth sometimes on their faces, or you can hear it through their stories when they share, hey, this happened, and now they're like actually passionate about their own lives, about, you know, being of service maybe to others, or about just, you know, expressing their passion. That would
Amazing. How does it feel when you work with someone in an RTT session and then they discover their little diamond within them? How does it make you feel?
Oh my gosh. Uh, the feeling is undescribable almost, I have to say. As you can see, I'm smiling, but I love to smile. But it's also a smile that I feel in my heart. It's so my heart just smiles and just is, there's this happiness and joy. There is this sense of also feeling good about yourself inside. Um, and you know, something came to me as I was thinking about this actually, where there's maybe a sense of like feeling that I do matter. I do matter, and what I offer matters. Yeah. I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, perfectly. You perfectly answered your question. I was just giving you a little bit more space, waiting if something else comes up. So there is this feeling when you help someone to discover their bright diamond, this feeling like your heart would smile, this happiness and joy, good feeling, and the feeling of what I do matters and what I offer matters. And with your permission, I would like to go into this feeling a little bit deeper and to really explore this beautiful feeling.
Okay.
So, for that, you don't have to do anything special. Just make yourself comfortable and imagine, have this picture in front of you. And if you like, you can close your eyes or you can keep them open, whatever is better for you. And you imagine this situation when you last time helped a person to discover and find their little diamond. And you feel that you help them to transform their lives. And then you feel this feeling, you feel this smile in your heart, you feel this feeling of happiness. And you tell me now again, What do you feel in this moment when you know you have changed a person's life? You've helped them find their diamond. What do you feel?
I feel joy, elation, excitement.
Joy, elation, excitement. What else?
Mm. The word serene comes up. I feel serenity.
Serenity, yeah. And Olivia, tell me, where in your body do you feel this joy, this elation, this excitement, this serenity?
So I would have to say all in my torso, but mostly in this space in my heart.
In the torso, but centered or very, very strong in your heart. Would you say
Yeah,
it comes out of your heart and radiates out
it
towards your
radiates.
torso?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Feeling like,
And
yes, it just expanding this way up around. Yes.
beautiful. So it comes from your heart and it expands over your torso, out even beyond your body. It expands out this feeling of joy, elation, of excitement, feeling of serenity.
Yes.
And I want you to stay there in this feeling that originates from the heart. And if you like, you can even bring a hand on your heart or wherever you feel that feeling. And describe me this feeling now. What qualities have this feeling? Is it warm? Is it cold? Is it tingling? How does it feel, this feeling physically?
So physically, it's tingly, it's electric, it's um, vibrant, it's um, expansive.
Expansive. So it's tingly, it's electric, it's vibrant, and it's expansive.
Yes.
And do you also see a certain color with that feeling or a shape?
I don't see a shape. Um, I it I don't really see too much of a color. If anything, if I were to say describe it and maybe color, it would be all the colors, but very shiny, very sparkly.
Beautiful. So it's very shiny and very sparkly, this tingly, electric, vibrant feeling, this expansive feeling of joy, of elation, of excitement, of serenity, which radiates out from your heart towards your body and beyond your body. And I want you to focus even more on that feeling, this feeling of joy, this feeling of elation, this feeling of excitement, and this feeling of serenity, which feels so good, which feels that what you do matter, which feels just good, just exciting. It's a tingly feeling, electric, vibrant, expansive. And it's so radiant. It's so bright, so beautiful. And you now, Olivia, just by focusing it, you can make it stronger and stronger. And I want you now to you think of it and intentionally make it stronger and stronger. Make this feeling of joy, of elation, of excitement, of serenity now stronger and stronger. And if you could see a scale, this would go from 100 to 200, and you make it stronger and stronger. It goes to 500, to 1,000, to 10,000, and it goes even up, 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 and you can make it stronger and stronger and stronger. And before we reach the top of the strongest it gets, I want you now to choose one finger and bring one finger together with a thumb, and we will anchor this feeling within you now. So just bring the fingers together, however it feels, it comes to you. And this feeling, it's so strong. It's at 10,000, goes up to 20,000. And when you have these fingers together, like you do now, you anchor this feeling down just by putting these fingers so together. And every time you do this, the feeling will come back. And now make this feeling even stronger from 10,000, go to 100,000, and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And this feeling is so strong now, so incredibly strong now. And this feeling is within you. You just made it so strong, so beautiful. And you feel this feeling even more, this feeling of joy, this feeling of elation, this feeling of excitement, of a serenity. And it feels so tingly, so electric, so vibrant, so expansive, so beautiful, so bright. And you just now taught your body how to recall this feeling by putting this finger together like you did it now. And there it's stored for you and anchored forever. And not just let's do a test, just put the fingers apart. Take a deep breath and exhale. And now bring the fingers the same way together like you did before. And again, there it is, this feeling of joy, of elation, of serenity. Can you feel it, this feeling of excitement? Which is so strong. Amazing, amazing. And this feeling, this beautiful feeling, Olivia, this is within you and will always be there for you. And you can always recall it just by bringing these fingers together. And this feeling will give you all the motivation and all the excitement that you need for doing any task that you have to do, that you maybe don't want to do at that moment, but that you then want to do because you know it will bring you this feeling. That's your fuel for reaching your goal, no matter what. This will build the bridge between you and any gap between you and your obstacles. This is the bridge where you can just walk over towards your goal. And one last time, I want you to focus again, because it's so beautiful, because it feels so good, on this beautiful feeling which is centered in your heart, which radiates out over your body and beyond your body. This strong feeling, this tingly, electric, vibrant, expansive feeling of joy, elation, of excitement, of serenity, this feeling that gives you this happiness, where you know what you do matters. And what you do makes a difference in this world. And stay with this feeling for as long as you want to, for now. And knowing that this feeling from now on is always there for you and will be. Whenever you're ready, you can come back and open your eyes. Beautiful.
Wow. I felt that tingly. I still feel that even in my fingertips, I feel tingly. Yeah. Wow. I have to say, that bridge, it, so I had the word procrastination. So I want to say I'm here. The procrastination is holding me back from organizing or the organization. And that bridge that you just built with the feeling actually shifted how I'm seeing now, like for instance, organizing. I'm not seeing it as I guess maybe I should have explained how I saw organizing or organization prior to this, but organizing to me is like a dreaded task. It's like blah, 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 and it's boring and it's like blah. But now I see it like, no, this is exciting. This is this is like the movement, that the step that is needed, that will get me that much closer to what I'm trying to create. So it's not an obstacle or a challenge. And what came to me was, well, let's be creative. I am a creative person. And I'm like, well, let's make this fun. Let's create, let's make this fun. This way, yeah, it feels that feeling, that electricity, that vibrancy, that exhilaration is there. It's like, okay, yeah, we can make this fun. We can be very, very creative, and not, this is not going to be boring, or it's not going to be labor intensive. It's going to be, it is part of what I need to do to achieve what I'm looking to achieve, what I'm looking to create. So
Mm.
that, yes, I'm still integrating this information.
Beautiful, yeah. Thank you for sharing this with me. That's beautiful and that's amazing. So, what you have experienced now is this shift from seeing this task of organizing something which you used to see as something really boring, which you didn't like to do. And now, when you focus on this beautiful feeling of excitement, it even takes over this task which you didn't like to do, and suddenly you find yourself seeing it from a different perspective. You are a very creative person. How can you use this creativity to make this fun?
Yeah.
And then also you changed your perspective in not focusing over, oh no, now I have to organize it, but you focus on why. Because
Yes.
I want to go there, because I
Yeah.
want to feel that. And that's just a step to take.
That's, yes. Yes. Everything you just said, spot on. Yes.
Mm. Yeah,
This
and
is
how,
this is beautiful. Yeah, I can't wait to see what happens this week. I'm so curious now.
yeah, me too, me too. And tell me, you already said it shifted so much on your perspective on the things you have to do. But tell me, what shift can you now observe in your energy?
What I'm observing, I'm glad you're asking. And that immediately I already had the answer, because it it felt very palpable to me, which was, so the feeling I had about organizing or even attempting, I felt overwhelmed, because I didn't really have, I didn't feel the connection that this task is actually there to assist me to get to my goal. So it felt more like things that I'd learned before about organization. It's like, again, it's labor intensive. Um, it's a task that requires a lot of like just tedious things maybe. And now my in my perception, that feeling, so it was a feeling of like, no, I don't want to do this, I don't like this, It's boring. It's it's overwhelming. It's too much. It's but now the feeling is no. It's exciting. It's exhilarating, and this is going to help you get to becoming the best RTT therapist, coach, um, and helping children, um, you know, achieve whatever they're wanting to achieve, or clients, other clients achieve what they like to achieve. The feeling, really, honestly, Monica, it's the feeling that I had initially attached to organization. That's the best way I can really describe it in this moment. I I'm now feeling this excitement, even in just saying the word organize, organization. It feels more like, yes, this is like it's a good thing in my mind. It's like, no, it can be exciting. It's going to be creative. We can spin it around and do so many things, where it doesn't have to. It's no longer attached. I will say this. It's no longer attached to the feeling of dread of like, ugh,
Mm.
don't want to do it.
Wow, amazing. So you experienced the shift from in your energy, even in your energy, especially, which was the energy which was attached to organization, was something, no, it's red. No, don't. And now it's an energy of excitement because it's not about that. It's not about these tasks. It's just a task I have to do in order to get what I want. And yet
Yes.
sometimes we have to do things we naturally don't like to do or feel great about it, but it's just like this makes one successful. It makes us successful if we are willing to do the things we don't want to do in order to get what we want. And what you discovered now so brilliantly, because you were so open to go into this deep work today, is you can just change the attachment on something and change the perspective versus now focusing on this task you don't like. You focus on your goal, on your North Star, and on that feeling you will have then. And plus, you also have this feeling anchored within you, this feeling which will help you overcome any feeling of demotivation, any feeling of I don't want to, is first the goal. You focus on the goal, on the North Star. And second, which gives you the fuel to get there, is the feeling. And this feeling you can now recall so easily because we anchored it with this finger putting together. And now, just for curiosity, put it together and focus. Can you feel this feeling?
I start to feel the tingling again in the tips of my fingers. And
Amazing. Amazing. And you know, also, the more we focus on something, the more we get of it. So if you
yeah.
focus on that feeling, on this beautiful feeling, and if you now, the tingling came immediately, so because we anchored it, and your body and your subconscious now connected this finger movement with that feeling. So now you can always recall it whenever you put the fingers together, and then you focus on it, and then it comes.
Mm.
So next time, when you find yourself struggling or not being motivated in doing something, what can you do?
Bring my fingers together. Thank you for doing that. Yes, because this feels uh, anchored. I think that's
Mm.
like the best way I can say it. It's like I felt the anchoring of like the energy. It's focusing and making it more tactile, meaning that with the feeling of the touch, it's like really grounding that energy into me. So yeah,
Amazing.
yeah. this is very cool.
Oh, I'm so happy you like it. Yeah, so you have this feeling and you have the North Star. You have the feeling and you can focus on the North Star. This feeling will bring you towards the goal, but that's amazing. So from today's session, Olivia, what is your biggest takeaway?
Hmm. My biggest takeaway would be the shifting of energy and shifting of the a certain pattern of thinking towards towards the task of organization, uh, where that feeling has changed. And now I can associate another feeling to it. And I can't wait to like put it into practice to see to see what happens. So yeah, my biggest takeaway is like how quickly this actually can shift, like just by allowing my mind to like have a different perception, and then I guess this like changing uh, a way that I would think about something to something that is exciting, to something that I'm looking forward to even right now to do it, just to see, okay, let's see how where my creativity takes me, because I'm curious to know like how creative can I be. So yeah. So yeah, the biggest takeaway is really the that bridge that you created, like from taking something that I'm feeling a certain way about and shifting that feeling and making it into it's the same subject matter, but a different feeling to it.
Mm. Beautiful. And it's something that you created. I was
Mm,
just there guiding you, but it was already within you. I just made it maybe more visible and helped you change the perspective, but it's your work,
mm,
it's your achievement.
mm. Thank you.
And thank you so much. And what will you do now? What's the next step? The next action step towards your goal with this new feeling and new excitement?
So the next action step for me, the first one I'm going to do is, which I did our last session, journal. So I'm going to write about this because I made a few points here. Um, my next actionable step is to take all the paperwork that I still have some paperwork that I have not placed in my binder. So that would be the next actionable step that I'm going to take. And then from there, I don't know where I'm going to go after that, but I'm going to like these are like my baby steps. These are like the most um, short-term goals, I guess. Short-term actionable steps. Long-term actionable steps, I'm not quite sure yet. I think that
And
come
you don't
from
have to.
okay.
And that's the beauty because, we take one step at a time. Now you know, you have this feeling, you have everything it takes, and you know the long term goal. But you answered my question so brilliantly. What's the next step you can do now? And that's a perfect journaling, organizing your paperwork. And when you have done that, then you will see what the next step will be. So we go from one to the other and one to the other. And that's the process of achieving our goals.
I love that. My cat decided to join our session at the end, so
Very
sorry.
welcome. I love it.
I love that. Yes. Yeah. So the actionable steps are journaling and then you know putting holes in the puncher, using the hole puncher and putting holes in my paper, organizing my binder so that everything is a lot more accessible. And I can even see, I'm already thinking I'm going to get like these fun little stickers and everything just to make it like noticeable. Like that came to me like right away.
It's beautiful. Yes, do it. Make it fun. Because sometimes we have to do things we don't like, but we can make them fun so
Yeah.
that it's more fun than it used to be. And then we even learn to enjoy the things which we used to not like. And now, one more time, just to make sure that you have a very successful week. What
Mhm.
will you do if there comes a little feeling of demotivation up again? What can you do then?
Bring my fingers together and I breathe in and just really recall that feeling because I can feel the tingling already starting again. That sensation, all that I felt in my body, that the the exhilaration, the expansiveness, it came. It was like, no, yeah, you can breathe into this.
Amazing. Amazing. I'm very curious what you will tell me next week, Olivia. And thank you so much for being here with me today. I can't wait to see you next week.
I can't wait, Monica. These are like little pearls of they're gems, what you're doing here. It's like I feel so much more is going on in my head. And um and yeah, I'm really curious about what the week is going to bring. I'm excited about what this is going to be like. And I can't wait to share it with you and with your viewers and can't wait actually for myself to see what happens. I'm just curious.
Me too. Amazing. I love it. Thank you so much, Olivia. Have a beautiful week, and we see each other next week.
Yep. See you next week. Thanks.